going to do a little bit of a review here for you, talk about some gaming peripherals. I'm going to talk about the Corsair Scimitar and the G600, and I'll probably be throwing comparisons in there to the Naga Epic, as that is also a 12-key MOBA oriented mouse. You're probably wondering, oh, why do you have two mice? Well, this one right here is my go-to because this G600, which is super strong and indestructible, the right click finally gave out, and it's no longer working correctly. It's doing a non-response or a double click, and I know you can fix it, you can replace it, and replace the key switches and things like that for the click, but I'm not gonna fuss with it. Why? I'll just swap it out and get a new mouse. So that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and picked up the this Corsair Scimitar, and it's a fantastic mouse. The thing I really dig about it is the sliding 12 key. So right here on the side, these keys move forward and back, whereas on the Logitech they are fixed and in position. I would have shown you the G600 lit up, but it's not lighting up because I don't have the software installed for it anymore. And that was actually one of my favorite things other than the ergonomics. This mouse is super comfortable, but the software was amazing. It worked super easy. It was very, very straightforward to set up. Worked very well. It's a fantastic setup. It's a good mouse. It's, like I said, it's probably the most comfortable mouse I've ever owned. And that's kind of saying a lot. I have big hands, so having a mouse that fits them is very important. So back to the Scimitar, doing kind of a comparison here. The Scimitar is comfortable. After using it for a while, I did have to kind of adopt a different grip. My fingers kind of I don't know how to describe it. They don't cradle the body of the mouse because there's less material here than there is on the G600. So I had to adopt a little bit different grip style to get it comfortable and really make the most out of it. I do use it for gaming, I use it for Photoshop, things like that, so I have macros set up for different things. So this mouse has 5 different zone lightings. It has your Corsair Sail logo, your 12 key, the DPI level indicator. That's not an easily adjustable lighting zone on its own, but it is adjustable. The scroll wheel, and the headlight, for lack of a better term, right up here in the front. Let me go ahead and show you the Corsair Cue Software. If you've used the Corsair Cue Software, you're already familiar with it, but it's not as easy as the Logitech gaming suite. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but this is basically how I have mine set up. Here's my just Windows default. I have my back and forward button set to here because this mouse does not have a tilt scroll wheel, unlike the G600, which does have a tilt scroll wheel, which is something I do miss, but I'm gonna make do with it. Here's our lighting. Let me go ahead and change this to, I'll do rainbow. I will apply it to all zones. So as you can see here on the mouse, the lighting zones are all rainbow and changing colors. And as I said, with the exception of the DPI indicator. You're probably wondering, well, why? Why, if it has 5 zones, why is it only showing 4 in the Corsair software? I will show you. Go ahead and change this back to single color because I like having solid color because it matches my keyboard. The lighting here that you see when you're gaming that points right back at you all the time when you're using the mouse is adjustable here in the performance and DPI tab. Now about the DPI, it goes to 12,000 DPI and goes as low as 100. So I have the lighting assignment the same across all stages because really I'm not going to look down at my mouse for the DPI level. I'm just going to go by feel. So if it's more comfortable changing the DPI in game, I'm not going to care what color it is, but I wanted it all to stay the same color. So I'll show you my Battlefield 1. So now you can see it's white. And then let me show you the Battlefield 4 one that I have, which turns it red. And it's the same across all DPI levels. So, there's different options, different settings and things like that, but this is a really good mouse. It has 4 replaceable feet on the bottom, an aluminum sticker. Makes it look kind of like it's built on a metal chassis, but it's not. But it does have that. The feet are really low friction. I really like them. They're easily replaceable too. Most mice nowadays are, but you'll notice on the bottom of the G600, there's no little tabs to get underneath the feet of the mouse very easily. They're just kind of stuck on there. Whereas the Scimitar, there's little notches. You can kind of see those to pull the feet out for easy replacement in the future, which is something that I think my Naga had. The Naga had a whole different host of issues, one of which being the software. I despise that software. The Synapse software has always been really bad. It might have gotten better. I haven't used it in like 4 years, but it was pretty bad. Beyond that, if you have big hands, go with the G600, and I mean big hands. The G600 is built like a tank. It's like gripping a big pomelo. It's like holding a gigantic piece of fruit. It's just really, really round and really comfortable. Whereas the Scimitar is kind of like a pear shape. It's got curves and it's comfortable, but it takes some getting used to in the hand. It's not as straightforward. Other than that, really, if you're looking for an entry-level gaming mouse and you don't have big hands, and if you're a claw gamer, a lot of the points that I've made about comfortability, if that's even a word, don't really apply, because your fingers are going to rest higher on the mouse than they are if you're a palm user. You're going to grip and claw it kind of like that. So there's a couple little things about it that I didn't like being a palm user, is these buttons here, which I believe are the DPI adjusters by default. They're kind of out of the way and they're low. So like where my fingers sit on the mouse when I'm gaming or doing any work, they're up here. And you're not going to change DPI a lot, which maybe being out of the way is a good thing. But to change it, you have to take your finger way back here to adjust it. And again, like I said, if you're a claw grip, it's a short little hop. Whereas on the G600, it's still a longer reach, but the buttons are taller up on the back, and they're higher in general, so it's a little bit easier to get to. Another thing I did like about the G600 a little bit more is the keys here on the side are curved. So your first bank of 6 is curved one way, and your second bank of 6 is curved a different way. So you can easily, at a moment's notice, feel exactly which one is which. Whereas on the Scimitar, the only difference is the texture. The first row of 3 is one texture, the second row of 3 is a different texture, and so on and so forth. So it kind of mirrors the Lux keyboard spacebar and gaming key attachments. It has this kind of like fake diamond plate kind of texture. The buttons on this mouse are nice, good click. Everything feels good. Like the buttons on the side have a good click to them. The thing that I really dug, though, about the overall usability is it's a Corsair product. I mean, not anything bad against Logitech, but I've never had any bad things to say about Corsair's customer service or their customer care. They stay on top of things, and if you have any issues with it, they resolve it immediately. And I'm sure Logitech would have done the same for me with the click button on this, but I'm the type of person really where I'm not going to wait for a response. If I don't hear back within a day, it's just like, screw it, I'm just going to buy a new mouse. And that's basically what I did. So let me give you a little bit of a profile here so you can see the two. Maybe see a little bit more what I'm talking about the shape. You can see in the side-by-side that the G600's got a lot more curve to it. It's a little bit taller up here on the right click than the Scimitar over here. But all in all, they're both great mice. If you're looking to get one of them and you have to choose which one, the G600 is cheaper. The software is better. And it's easier to use. So if it's your first gaming mouse, it's fantastic. It's a good option. The Scimitar, however, I like the texture on it a little bit more. The G600 from the get-go kind of felt gritty, whereas this feels like a soft-touch plastic rubber. And the grip here on the side is this kind of textured grip, whereas the G600 doesn't have any of that. So I did like that, but it is more money, and the software does take a little bit more getting used to. So if you're trying to choose between one of these two, if you've got big hands, G600, and if you're a beginner, G600. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit more performance oriented, with more robust software, with a little bit of a learning curve, and different zone lightings. The G600 is just one zone. The whole thing changes colors, and that's it. Looking for more zones to kind of complement your build, go with the Scimitar. They're both weigh about the same. They're both great mice. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, a like, subscribe, and I'll do my best to read everything and get back to you guys. Thanks. Have a good one.